we did more of those like pre-class warm-ups that I talked about a couple classes back, and I cannot remember them. We did more this class than we had done in the previous class, so in that first class we didn't do all of them, I guess. We just did some of them. So now there's even more, and I still can't remember them all. Like before, since the form is all learned, we focused on a difficult part. Big thing we focused on in this class was after that first arm break. We come around, we do that first arm break, and then from here, I was having trouble figuring out where the arms came before getting to this, so we did a lot of focus on that. So from that arm break, this hand turns as they come up and then down, and this foot has to turn. And then as this leg comes up, the arms go up too, and then as it comes down, we do the block. I definitely think because of that rotation, it's one of the more difficult parts of the form, and I'm still having a little bit of trouble with it, but I'm definitely understanding it a little bit better now that we've done some of that practice. So now I just have to make sure I keep practicing it and don't forget it. Another part we focused on was right before the kicks, which I'm not strong enough or flexible enough to do, but the part before the kicks. So after the last one of these, the leg comes up and you come down, and then we focused on this part. The hands come sort of over under each other as you come forward on that block. So they're sort of coming around. And then you come down and then up into the kicks. I need to make sure that I sort of spread my hands before the kick and don't just bring them out. That's something I was doing wrong. And I need to work on sort of when I'm rotating my body with this move. I was doing it sort of bad before. Not as difficult of a section as the previous bit, I don't think, but there was definitely bits to be learned, especially in regards to when that rotation is happening. One thing I'm not sure about though is if my body is facing the right way. I feel like it's not quite straightforward when you do it. It's like a little angled, so that's something that I should double check on in a future class. But I really like what we've done in these couple classes now, after we finish learning the form, where we sort of break down a piece of the form to sort of get better at. Some places will just give you a little piece of the form at a time, so that you have to practice that piece and get good at that piece before you move on to the next piece, which honestly might be the better idea, because it means that you're not sort of thinking about or focusing on something later in the form until you've already gotten really good at that beginning part. But it can be kind of frustrating, because you feel like, oh, I've got this, I want to know the next part, I want to learn more. Even if maybe you don't actually have that yet. But doing it this way, you get to learn the form, you get to feel like you've done a whole bunch of stuff, and you still get to sort of get better at pieces. So while it may not be the best method, maybe, I definitely prefer doing the whole thing first and then going back and breaking down different pieces. I definitely think their way of doing it, because then you're not like thinking about a different part or focusing on a different, what is that?